One say, sometimes they give you hand out and you get nothing in return. Some people never seem to show the gratitude, you know. But whatever happens, you don't know John's there for you, and you know, just keep talking through, and someday you must get through. That's what I mean. So me tell you that they don't give you that ulterior motive. Oh, what a shame. And then me tell you that they don't give you that ulterior motive. Personality. And then me tell you that they don't give you that ulterior motive. Oh, what a shame. And then me tell you that they don't give you that ulterior motive. Personality. Sorry for my God. Some wrong by you, yeah. Don't you working so hard? They want to treat you like go to. 7 days a week, you try to make the 2 ends meet.
Good night, good night, good night to everyone out there today. I'm coming to you today. I don't really care about identifying these days, but today is another glorious day. Today, this is the day that Yah has made, and we will be glad in it, no matter what the circumstances are and how things look. So this is Linus and Arise coming at you today again. And today my segment actually, I'm going to kind of like go into, I've always wanted to talk about a particular story in the book, and about one of the biblical men, prominent biblical men that really does not, in my opinion, never have gotten the right recognition, and it's not even in the right place in the Bible. With that being said, but again, that I always like to bless my segment with scriptures before I start, and the scripture. And actually, I think we'll still stick with Isaiah, because again, this is bringing light to people, people who are in the dark. You know what I'm saying, and people who are really doing evil and wicked things, and kind of really not really being truthful or really having a good understanding about the Most High. And I'm going to just actually focus on, let me find, I'm just going to read Isaiah, just bear with me for a second. I'm sorry, this is something I usually have all together. I have everything else in alignment, but okay, I'm coming. Here we are. I want to shed some lightness, and this is more of an enlightenment for those who going through and may not understand the things that are going on in their lives right now. Actually, you know what, let me look in Proverbs, because I think Proverbs probably will better adequately justify today, some kind of really represent today's segment. Okay, for Yah, I'm going to actually do Proverbs, and this is chapter 3. Proverbs 3, chapter 3, verse 19. For Yah by wisdom founded the earth, and by understanding he established the heavens, and by his knowledge the deeps broke forth, and the clouds dropped down the dew. And I'm just going to bless this segment with that scripture, because I think it speaks to this in many ways. And I think when I go through the segment, you guys are going to understand why I said that. All right. So actually, the segment is going to be about a biblical man that actually the Most High really held in regard. In fact, he considered him at the time, around Daniel time, this is the Book of Job. In the book, it's called the Book of Job, but it was really never Job. Again, for those who know and in the truth, the letter J didn't come into existence till 1600s, 1611. That's when they created the name Jesus and gave him a J. Because when you think about Yeshua and Jesus, you can actually change around. They changed around, took out a couple of letters, and that's where they probably derived it from. But it's Yeshua, right? But the Book of Job it's really should be, his name is really Job. Okay. So, and the Most High said, and he in this book, from what I understand it, because again I did my research with Job. I'm going to say Job because I know you all are familiar with Job, but it is his name is his name is Job. Okay. So what I understand, the book of Job is older than Moses. Okay, and it is not in the right place in the Bible. They have it really. They have it after Esther, which the book of Esther is a fraud. It's a well-known fraud, they say. This book was accepted by the Jews. The book of Esther does not belong in the Bible at all. This, from what we are made to understand, they said and the book of Job was not accepted by the Jews. You see that? These Pharisees, those wicked, evil people that are already condemned. And he goes on to say that in the book of Esther, which doesn't belong in the Bible, if you read that book, it's very short. The chapter is about only because it's a lie. That's why. It's about, I think it's a few little pages. It's not even that much. You know, maybe about 4 pages to that much. And it says, and if you read it, it has no mentioning of Yah, and you all may know him as God. He said, and there's no prayers to Yah. And he summed up the book of Esther to be, he said, it's a materialistic story, and it's about murder and robbery. So there you go. And we all know who the culprit include that book. Okay, so that's a little beginning, giving you an idea what the book of Job is and where it should be. And as I go into giving you a little story and a history about the book of Job, you will begin to understand why they decided not to put this book in front. And a lot of pastors, and I don't know, and I don't want to be too overly general, and I want to give some pastors and reverends some benefit of the doubt, but as long as when I was not in the truth, and I called myself trying to go to truth, because I didn't, when you're coming out, those, from coming from where you are and being lied to is a process of you all know, okay? And when I can't recall ever hearing any pastors talking about the book of Job. And maybe there are, and I hope they do it more often, because it's really a magnificent story, and it gives you credence and justification when things go wrong in your life. And it gives you an explanation and an understanding, and it helps you to stand firm. That's what it's supposed to be doing for us now, because that's what these stories in the Bible are about. They're giving you a synopsis and an idea of what they went through, what they had to endure, and the deliverance of Yah. Okay, through all of their persecutions and all of their injustices. Okay, and evil that were going on. So that's why it's important to read these stories, because what it does is it enables you to be strong and to stand firm and help you to stand against evil, because you know you're going to overcome no matter what the circumstances are. So alright, so let's get started. I don't want to because I can talk. Let me tell you, I got to get more time. But we're gonna work with this. So the book of Job, all right, and I want to go in to say the book of Job does not attempt to explain the mysteries of suffering or to justify the ways of Yah with men. It aims at probing the depths of faith in spite of suffering, the ancient foretales of a patient Job. Okay. So then it goes on. Let me give you how, the short synopsis of Job's story, the quick intro. So I'm going to read for you in the beginning chapter, which is the first chapter, chapter 6, and it talks about when the devil Satan goes to Yah. All right. So here we go. Now there was a day when the sons of Yah came to present themselves before Yah, and Satan also came among them. And Yah said to Satan, Whence have you come? Satan answered Yah, From going to and fro on earth, and from walking up and down on it. And Yah said to Satan, Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on earth, a blameless and upright man, who fears Yah and turns away from evil? Then Satan answered Yah, Does Job fear Yah for naught? Hast thou not put a hedge about him and his house and all that he has? On every side thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his possession hath increased in the land. But put forth thy hand now, and touch all that he has, and he will curse thee to thy face. And Yah said to Satan, Behold, all that he has is in your power. Only upon himself do not put forth your hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of Yah. Now, when Satan left from Yah, this is what happened to Job. Okay, within one day, and you really need to read it. It's really long, but he lost. Okay, see, this is. And let me give you really quick. Job was a very, very rich man. In those days, in that ancient time, he was considered one of the richest men around, because the Most High had blessed Job in such a way, because he lived righteously. He did everything right. Again, let me give a quick. I didn't give you before I go into tell you what he lost. I got to actually go back and tell you. Job is actually he's the grandson of Shem, son of Orion. Job lived in the land of Oz, and Jobab was Job's father. Okay, and there's two of them. There's one. They say there's also a Job that is also the son of Ishka, one of the 12 sons of Israel. And it speaks about, hold on, there's something else I wanted to point out to you guys. Alright, that he had 10 children. Job had 10 children with one wife. I want you all to know that. He had 10 children with one wife. And in one day, Job lost all of his lively stock, because in those days lively stock was really more of wealth to those people. There was no such thing as money, and it was more of trading livestock. And they did have some, I believe they may have some, because I don't know I can't give you for sure the accuracy, but I know that livestock, food, and clothes, those were things with more of significance. He lost all of his livestock, and he was very well off, and he had servants, manservants. He had 10 children. He was loved. He was blessed. The father blessed him. He had three. It says there, in one day when he was yet speaking, there came another, said, the channels formed 3 companies and made a raid upon his camels, and took them, and slew his servants with the edge of the sword. And then shortly after that, he said, while he was yet speaking, there came another and said, Your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house, and behold, a great wind came across, and the wilderness and struck the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young people, and they are dead. So he lost all of his family, all of his wealth, and everything that he had. And the only thing that Job said, when all of this that came upon him, he said, Job rose and rent his robe, shaved his head, and fell upon the ground and worshipped. And he said, Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall return. For Yah gives, and Yah has taken away. Blessed be the man, blessed be the name of Yah. So in that one day, he lost all of his livestock, his whole entire family. Only his wife was left alive. And he just, and he didn't curse the Most High. He still did not curse, because remember, Satan went to, and I said earlier, he went to Yah, which is God. Okay, I want you all to know that who is listening, make sure identify who I'm speaking with. And he said that, this is where this kind of challenge came between Satan and the Most High. Then, okay, so after that, with Job still not cursing, I'm sorry, I keep saying Job because I'm conditioning myself. Job still did not curse the Most High. Then Satan went back to Yah again and challenged Yah again, said, you didn't Okay, he didn't curse you. We took all his family. We killed his children. I killed his children. I destroyed his sheep, his livestock, killed his servants. I mean, this is, anybody could lose their mind or something like that, right? So then he goes back to the Most High, and Satan says, okay, now we're going to afflict his body. And then Satan answered Yah, said to Yah, went to him, and said, now skin for skin, and all that a man has he will give for his life, but put forth thy hand now, and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. And Yah said to Satan, behold, he is in your power, only spare his life. So then Satan went and left Yah, and he went and he afflicted Job with loathsome sores, and then he sores from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head, and he took a potsherd and which to scrape himself, and sat among ashes. So he was he was just covered with sores and all kinds of boils on his body. I mean, to think, you all can't imagine it, but you'll have to imagine describe somebody like who have all these terrible boils and open sores all over their face, and he couldn't eat, he couldn't do anything. I mean, he was just miserable. He just wanted to die. This was just the end of him, and he still did not curse the Most High. All right. So that's the story of Job, and the reason why I'm talking to you all about the story of Job is because I want you all to understand, and when we talk about that, now I'm going to really reflect on how I'm going to connect Job with our present day, with your present life and things that are going on in your life, and things that you might be suffering. I mean, I think we're living in a time right now, and I'm sure that a lot of people in this world, and people who are doing the right thing, people who are trying to do the right thing, live the right way, it's a challenge. Every day it's a challenge to walk the right way. And there's people out there that do good things, that stay firm in their faith and try to help and try to follow the Most High in the ways and His laws and statutes that He has set for us to follow. And I know that can be very difficult. You try to help people, you try to do good to people, and you've been good all your life, and all of a sudden things come to you, and you are just dumbfounded as, why is this happening to me, right? And the questions it asks here, why do the wicked prosper, and why do the good have trouble, right? But it says we have to go back earlier than Job to trace it. That's what the gentleman was saying, but that was the one who I was following. And the main goal and idea, and one of the things I also wanted to talk about, okay, because in all of Job's suffering, he had 3 friends that came to see him. And these 3 friends was really just 3 pain in the ass, pretty much. They were just a waste of time. They only came to gloat and just put him down, to say, well, there's something that you must have done to do this, to bring this upon yourself. And let me identify who those 3 friends are. One of them is Eliphaz. He is an Edomite Jew. The other one was Bilad. I think it's Bilad. I'm sorry. And he was a Shunammite, I believe. Let me see. If I did not, I should have identified. Let me see. Yeah, Bilad was a Shuite, and his name, believe it or not, means who Baal loved. And anybody who knows some truth, they know Baal is his name, which means and his who Baal loves, and is a pagan god of Babylon. So you see, I think we already know who sent them 2 friends to antagonize and bother Job. And there was another one. His name was okay. Let me see. I believe Zophar. Zophar was a Naamanite. Okay, he also came to accuse Job of iniquity, because they say, how can you be righteous? This could, nothing. You didn't do anything wrong. If you're a blameless, if you're a righteous man, why would the Most High afflict you? So they went accusing him, putting Job down, telling him and Eliphaz and Bilad, and Zophar, all of them, they were just attacking. For the first time when they first went to see Job, they just sat in silence for a whole week. They were dumbfounded. They didn't know what to say to this man, because he was just in such dire straits. They didn't know. They were speechless, because they said, how can this happen to somebody who have done who always do good? I mean, they say he helped the poor, he raised children that are fatherless. On his he had a big, Job had a lot of land. He was a rich man. He had a lot of land. He had a lot of homes and houses. He helped the widow. He gave people jobs. Everybody loved Job. He was a righteous man. Job was a man after, you could say almost after Yah's heart, because he did everything that was right. There was no reason. So, then even Yah himself, now I know I believe, I had wrote this down, that Yah himself had made the comment that Job was right. He was a blameless man, right? But here's the whole purpose of the affliction of Job, because even though it's about 41 chapters, it's not as long as the other chapters, but it's extremely, in my opinion, it's very significant. And the problem, and I'm sorry, not problem, and the whole goal and idea of this story, okay, and it says the main goal and idea of the Most High, and the reasons for being tested the way Job was tested, okay, and I think it's a very adequate analogy. And it says here, are you going to break under pressure? Are you going to prove unreliable? Or are you going to be faithful no matter what? Because Yah wants to know what kind of man you are. Are you going to take it? Or are you going to be a cream puff about it? Okay? And you're able to stand up no matter what. So Job's story was a test. Okay? And the analogy comes down to be, would he be loyal to Yah even when he couldn't understand why things were happening to him, and everything and everyone would forsake him, even Yah himself? And the reason why I brought that in to the reflection, because there's times when people are going through some things in their life and they just can't understand, why am I going through this? Why is this happening to me? And it's just unexplainable, right? But I just gave you the reason. And that's, as Yah says, he wants to know, are you going to be loyal to him? So when you know something is going on with you, and you see something, all of a sudden things just start happening. You're going through all kinds of difficulties, right? And all these things coming at you left from right, and you're trying to do the right thing. And you're like, saying to yourself, "Damn, when am I going to get a break from this pressure?" Something, you guys don't really go through nothing compared to what these biblical men, the tests that these biblical men have been put under. Okay, none of you all can really withstand it. Now I know some of you all out there have lost children. You have lost children, but you haven't, and some of you may have lost a few of your children. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a time and era that we're living. You all know that black men are under attack. They are by far, there's an attempt to genocide black people in this country, and you people need to understand this. But what my point is, not, I don't want to get off track. My point I'm trying to say to you is that you may lose a child, but everything doesn't happen to you all at one same time. Job lost all 10 of his children in one day, all of his wealth, everything. It was just liquidated, eradicated, and then the last but not least, he was afflicted so bad that the only thing Job desired was to just die at this point. Okay, there was no hospitals. We don't need those things back then. Most people didn't really need. There was no such thing as really needing to be sick, because people back then. Let me tell you something. People back then lived. Let me tell you how long, and I think you all know this. They lived Noah lived for 950 years. And Job's grandfather said lived to 464 years. And Shem himself lived to 602. And I believe Job lived even, I remember reading in one of my Bibles that he either lived to 620 years or 500 or something years. He lived a very long time. So when you look, these men, to have that kind of longevity, and to, they had to take, I mean, even these men were tested to the utmost. I mean, everybody, there's a story with Abraham, and I have to touch that story. The story with Abraham is not just about, and I did hear this from someone else, okay, and I'm going to look into it, and I believe there's a lot of truth to it. Because when something is righteous, it's righteous. Other than him going to take his son, Isaac, and when the Most High Yah told him that he wanted to sacrifice Isaac, and Abraham was going to do it, and Yah stopped him, because Yah did not require that, but he wanted to, again, test. He also, Abraham was tested before, I believe. Now, again, I don't know how true the story is, and maybe I need to verify it, but like I said, it's, to me, it sounds like righteousness to me, because I believe, and this is the time when Abraham was young, he had a brother, and and again, I heard this from someone else, and I'm not going to say who that is, but I'm just going to at least give the recognition that I did hear this from someone else. This is not something that I've actually had the opportunity to read, because I believe this is in another book, which is not in our King James Version Bible, right? That Abraham, when he was younger, I guess Nimrod attempted to slew him, which means to kill, between him and his brother. And they had bound Abraham, and they have set a fire to throw him in, because he did not refuse to bow down to Nimrod, and Nimrod was a tyrant at the time, because he's the devil's son. And but even when they bound Abraham and they both of his brother, and I think to some degree it was said that Abraham said something very favorable in the sight of Yah, and Yah heard, because Yah hears Yah knows what you think, what goes, the thoughts in your mind, the feelings and the emotions that runs through your body. He knows what you're going to feel before you even feel it. You know when you're going to cry before you even going to cry. So he heard what Abraham said in his mind, and Abraham did not get burned in that fire. Okay, so that's why I say I believe there's some truth to it, because that sounds like righteous, because that's a similar story like the three teenagers who were put in the burning oven. I don't know if it's really called an oven, but maybe it might be called an oven, which is a Meshach, Abednego. I may not have all their names right, but there's the three teenagers that refused to again bow down to the king, and they put him in the fire, and Yeshua was there. And none of them got burned, and the king was scared like nothing. And after that, he praised Yah. Every person had to praise Yah. I love the stories. So, anyways, again, just to give you an idea, everything is a test, and when you are going through any kind of problems and issues and trials and tribulations, again, you have to really stand strong and stand firm, and as I said, you all have not, the Most High have, you all have not endured, have been afflicted, and if you all are being afflicted right now, the majority of most of your afflictions you bring upon yourself, okay, because it's either you're going to do the right thing or the wrong thing. And when you're doing the wrong thing, you're going to suffer the consequences. That's just the way that goes, okay? Because life is what you make it. And if you don't make an effort to change your life and turn around and do the right thing, calamity is going to become you. And it is already, as I said before in my other segments, when you compromise with evil, you are committing suicide. So I don't want to get off track with Job. And again, you have the whole moral of this segment is to never stop doing the right thing, and I know that those of you have gone out and you've done a lot for people, and you really put your heart and soul and help them, and you try to bring some happiness and joy to their lives, and they may just just let you down and don't be there for you in your time of need, and just turn around and just really kick you in your ass, you know what I'm saying, and just really go against you. Like you would never believe, and you can't believe that, you know, they would let you down in the manner that they did, and you just can't even begin to comprehend, you know, how is it that you have all this love and compassion in your heart and they don't? Well, you know what? Because it says so, yourself blessed. Because that means you have the Most High. Because they say, love is Yah, and Yah is love. And if you have the ability to love somebody, that means you have Yah with you. Okay? And that person does not. And they're not able, and they're incapable of comprehending love. Because a lot of people equate, when people do things for people, right? And let's say, for example, you're with somebody and maybe you dedicate a lot of time, a lot of effort, and maybe they need help with a special project, and you go like faithfully maybe every day after work, a couple of hours after work, you know, and today, in today's world, people are so busy. They got children, they got responsibilities. I mean, this is to and fro. The devil got y'all going to and fro. And he has this world mapped up in a way that you all are constantly being pulled in different directions. You really never ever have time for yourself and really have time to really reflect on the things that are going on around you. But not getting thrown off the course. But what I'm saying is, Heavenly Father, don't let me lose my thought here. I'm sorry, guys. But, you know, what I'm saying is you have to take the time and focus on the things that's affecting your lives. And, you know, we tend to, you know, we get overwhelmed. We get overwhelmed with the things that we get confronted with people and how they come against us. And as I said, what they equate consideration, like I said, you go and you spend a couple of hours helping somebody with a project, or maybe you dedicate your time to maybe take them, you know, anything. It could be anything. Maybe you're pretty consistent in being reliable to them. And maybe they're giving you money to maybe for gas or whatever, but you know, that's not really the point. And people tend to think that because you may be giving them something monetary to compensate maybe for their time, they say, oh, that's good enough. Let me tell you something. Time and energy is always more valuable than money. Okay? With all the money you have in the world, if you have worn somebody out and you've been proven ungrateful and you become even somewhat, you know, unappreciative, and you take that person for granted, listen, they'll tell you, keep your damn money, and who cares? Because it doesn't work that way. You know, in the end, there's many rich people that end up alone and miserable all by themselves. Okay, with all their monies and riches, and they leave this, all they got is a damn cat and a dog for friends. There's no love, no happiness, no warmth, no nothing. And they dry up and shrivel up and they drift away. So, you know, that's the point there. And that's why I played Luciano's song, Ulterior Motive. Sometimes, you know, you give your heart and soul, but don't worry, you will get rewarded in the end. Because in the end, the Father blessed Job tremendously. In fact, he blessed him. But I'm sorry, I don't want to jump. I'm going to tell you all that. But before I tell you about that, and as I was saying, you know, no matter what, the whole moral of the story is to please keep doing the right thing. And when you see things that are coming up against you, and you're under pressure, and you're facing a lot of turmoil, and a lot of just challenges right and left, that's the enemy. That's a challenge on you. Okay? And you got to understand that. And if you once you understand that, and you got to say to yourself, you know what? As most people will say, the devil is a liar. Okay? He really is. And stories like Job proves that. It proves that. Because you see, Satan himself went to Yah to challenge Yah. Because see, Yah will always win. Alright? That's the other moral to the story. Yah will always win. So, I wanted to talk about the Most High's bio, and I like to describe it that way because I feel that it gave it justice. And now we probably can't really give Yah's bio justice, but I felt the only thing that I have found yet. Maybe I'm sure there's more. There's plenty more with the many biblical men. They just give Yah most wonderful praises and most wonderful psalms. But I like how this really amplifies the Father's power. So if I may, let me just really read that to you guys. Okay, and this is in Job chapter 9, verses 3 to 10. And this is a little long, but I think it's well worth for you all to hear, okay? This is the power of Yah. If one wished to contend with him, one could not answer him once in 1,000 times. He is wise in heart and mighty in strength. Who has hardened himself against him and succeeded? He who removes mountains and they know it not. When he overturns them in his anger, who shakes the earth out of its place and its pillars tremble, who commands the sun and it does not rise, who seals up the stars, who alone stretched out the heavens and trampled the waves of the sea, who made the Bear and Orion and Pleiades and the chambers of the south, who does great things beyond understanding and marvelous things without number. Okay. And then he goes on to say, and I actually should include this, and lo, he passes by me, and I see him not. He moves on, and I do not perceive him. Behold, he snatches away. Who can hinder him? Who will say to him, what dost thou? Right? So that's just telling you the power of the Most High here, right? I mean, can anyone, none of y'all can't stand up in the presence of the Most High. I'm going to tell you right now. And Job is the only man that I am aware of, and again, I'm going to say that very carefully, that the Bible gives to me, that I see this really, this one-on-one. That Job comes and talks to, Yah comes and talks to Job himself. You see what I'm saying? I mean, usually, for most of the stories, you hear an angel that will come and speak to one of the, one of the prophets. So, and Yah speaks. I mean, when the prophets, when these angels come, it is Yah speaking overall. Let's make no mistake of it. But this one, the story identifies that Yah came in a whirlwind and came to Job himself. Let me tell you something. That is powerful. Moses was the other one that I'm aware of that Yah spoke one-on-one with. And let me tell you something, honey. When you speak to Yah one-on-one, you will never be the same. Never be the same. That is the most life-changing event anybody could ever encounter. But again, the story is, the endurance of being patient and standing firm in faith when you're going through trials and tribulations, or when people do you injustice and do you wrong and afflict you, because we all do not get afflicted the same way. We all do not get trials. We all do not have the same tribulations. The Most High is wonderful in that way. He does not afflict us all the same way. He knows exactly how to afflict us. He knows exactly what trials that Satan is allowed to put on each and one of us. Okay, there is limits and boundaries that the enemy can put to you. Okay, because the Most High, if you're righteous, and I say that because the righteous is the ones He's going to be trying the most. I want you to understand that. Okay, so if you're being tried even more, know that Yah is the one that is reproofing you, and be glad and rejoice. Okay, because that means Yah is with you. And let me say this: even when Job was going through his affliction, I want to also make note. While he was talking, and I just want to encourage you guys to go and read the story for yourself. All right, because I love to give you a synopsis. This is what these things are: is to give you a summary about what the story is. But in his affliction, Job requested, was vindicating himself, and he was just wondering, why is this happening to me, and he was just looking as he was asking. He didn't feel the presence of Yah around him. Yah said nothing to him, and I know exactly what I can say. Let me correct. I can't say I know how he feels, but I want to say that in a way. When I went through something in my life personally, I went through something, and it did feel like, it would feel like the Father's not around, it's a weird feeling. It's like you feel like He's not there, and you're suffering hard, and you're in pain. But let me tell you something. Make no mistake. Yah is watching you. Okay? And even when it feels like He's not around you, He is around you. Okay? Please know that. I'm going to say again, I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what it feels like. I don't care what it sounds like. No, Yah is present. Don't think for a minute that the enemy have all this power to destroy you. Because if he did, he would have destroyed you already. Trust me when I tell you. And I'm going to concur with this guy I mentioned to you all already in my segment, the deception of the educational system, David Icke. Because he was doing an interview, and the gentleman asked him, how is it you're able to give out all this information and it's truth, and nothing happens to you? He said, well, first of all, if they really had all the power, they would have done what they wanted to do already. Okay? And he's absolutely right. If it was up to the enemy, okay, this would have been a done deal, because it is in Yah's word, for we are not consumed because of His mercies, and because of His mercies in Yeshua. That's why we are not consumed, and that's why the enemy, he cannot do everything all that he wants to do. All right, that's just the way that goes, because there is words. The Most High word is in place, okay, and it is a border around all of us. No matter what goes on outside, I don't care what's going on Facebook, Twitter, all that. I don't care what's going on. His word is around you right now. He's present. He sees everything. And again, I just want to implore those people out there that no matter what you do, you will be rewarded. And let me tell you what he gave. He gave Job, and you all can read it for yourself. It's in chapter 42. And Yah restored the fortune of Job. And all his brothers and sisters came to him. They all gave him money. The father gave him twice more what he had. Instead of him having 6, he had 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, 1,000 yoke of oxen, 1,000 she asses. He had also all 10 children again. And he gave him an additional 140 years onto his life. Now I don't know, and all of his friends, his wife had said to curse the Most High, and you just die. And I don't know if he had the same wife, because she said that, because most fathers would not separate nothing. Only don't let no man put asunder what the Most High has brought together. But Most High he's the one who can break stuff, because she didn't speak favorably of the Most High. Okay, so it doesn't give, the story does not give what happened to the wife, and who knows, because they do a lot of manipulating. All right, but I hope you all enjoyed this segment, because it really speaks to Job's entirety of what he had to go through and what we are going through right now in this time. Okay, please listen to the rest of Luciano, and hopefully it kind of you all will connect with the song and the story. And you all will have the opportunity to get an understanding of Job. And may you draw strength and faith when you are facing any challenges in this time and day. Okay? Be blessed, my people. Stay strong in Yah. Hallelujah, in Yeshua.
It's not so sweet, still they got the dead and it's skin them teeth. You wonder what the world is coming to. Can I want, but I got to sing it too. And I'm and you're feeling the right alone. So me tell you that they don't go to that ulterior motive. Oh, what a shame. And let me tell you that they need to go to that ulterior motive. Personal aim. So me tell you that they don't go to that ulterior motive. Oh, what a shame. And let me tell you that they need to go to that ulterior motive. Oh, yeah. I feel the vibes to sing this one, dedicated to those in the audience who don't know about the Holy One, moving under God's pretense. Be down the warrior and blaze down the fence. Rastafari, they are with the truth and repentance. Yeah. Oh, it's a day and day, sing and day and day. So we tell you that they don't do the let me tell you that they know you more than you got that serious mountain.